This video is only one part of an in-depth review, so check out the rest at thegoodride.com. Thanks for watching. Welcome to The Good Ride. I'm James Beastie, and I'm just being me in a world that isn't. And this is the Rome DOD Do or Die binding. Next to it is kind of the more responsive older brother of this, the Cleaver, then the slightly less responsive 390 Boss. Then on this side you have kind of the ASIM wrappers, and you've got the Rome Vice and you've got the Rome Katana. And this review is mostly about the Do or Die. I rode this binding in a wide variety of conditions with a wide variety of boards and boots, mainly from Rome. Really like pairing it up with kind of mid-level boards that kind of need a little bit of response but not too much, like the Freaker, like the Stale Cruiser, and boards like that. But it matched up well with a wide variety of boards. I rode this primarily with my Burton Kendos. There are many other boards that I rode it with. Check the review on thegoodride.com. To give you a short summary, this is a slightly less responsive younger brother to the Cleaver that doesn't have that really cool adjustable ankle strap angle that improves response up top and lessens response down below. It has a good medium fast response. It's got a decent weight to it. It's got really good adjustability. It's got a good feel underfoot. It's a damp, responsive, kind of well-rounded binding for most mountain freestyle to all mountain kind of riders, or just anybody that likes medium to medium fast response. When it comes to weight, this is 2 pounds with a disc and the screws in there, and so are all these bindings. So not too light, not too heavy, nice and damp, shock absorbent, just no real compromises for the weight. Now when it comes to Highback Flex, this has a pretty stiff flex. It's got a lot. I personally enjoy the easy flexing of the Vice, a binding that can be as responsive as this, or the Katana, because they have a little more twist, a little more give back, and it doesn't bite into my calves as much. I really have to make sure that these high backs are rotated so they don't bite into my even featured calves. Now, the Cleaver is stiffer, just by a little bit than this guy, and the 390 is just a touch softer, a little more twist, just a touch more give, but they're all kind of in that same family in comparison to the Vice and the Katana. Now, when it comes to flex underfoot, there is a lot of it, and this really allows you to easily butter, and it allows your board also good torsional flex because you have this kind of quasi mini disc. It's just a little bigger than your standard mini disc. Here's a standard mini disc, kind of a tiniest one, the Union, and then here is the Rome mini disc. It's just a little bit bigger, and if you compare that to a full-size disc, you can see there is a lot less contact on board than there is with a full-size disc. Then you add all this foam, and this is really the only true contact point, and it really allows the board to flex tip to tail and twist really easy, and I like that. Check out more about this disc and stance with adjustability though. Now when it comes to turn initiation and response, I really enjoyed the adjustability of the Cleaver. Being able to tweak up your ankle strap angle and have it sit at a higher point on your ankle really made the binding more responsive. And it's funny, it might only be like in Rome's rating system, this is like a 7, and this can get up at the Cleaver to a 9, but that 7 to 9, there was a huge difference in feel, and I felt like this was even more so than what they described. But this is a pretty responsive binding. You just have one setting, that's that, and it works. It's just like all the other bindings. But after trying the Katana, the Vice, the Cleaver, and the Black Label, I was like, oh man, I really appreciate that adjustability. I like that better than just one setting, but you know, still very good response, and it matches up with a wide variety of boards. Now when it comes to shock absorption, yeah, the Cleaver has that cool new technology they kind of moved from D3O to this like energy boost type of technology like you see in Adidas tactical ADVs and Acera boots. It's just like kind of soft, but it's got spring to it and good shock absorption. It doesn't change if it gets really cold or really warm. It's kind of always the same. I really like that, just like I liked it with my old Adidas boots when I rode those. But this has good kind of like PU, kind of EVA, kind of foam kind of thing that you see on all the bindings out there. And it's got a lot of shock absorption in the toe, a lot of shock absorption in the heel, and it does a very good job dampening things up, and it doesn't compromise your response too much. If you like a real skatey feel, then maybe these bindings might not be right for you. You might want to go with something with a lot less EVA foam. But if you're somebody like me that's just trying to ride till I die, and as my joints get older and more finicky, bindings like these just have more appeal, and I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of response and board feel as a result. Now, when it comes to support, these ankle straps have really good support. They don't have the adjustability like your little adjustability buddy right here, like you do with the Cleaver or the Vice, which is probably more of a competitor to this price point wise. And the Katana, these things can go up. You can bring your ankle strap up higher and pull in higher on your ankle, give you more support, or go lower and give you less support. I love that adjustability, but this has really good ankle support. This strap sits a little further outside than maybe some bindings, but like Flux, who has their strap kind of mounted inside here, but I didn't really feel like I was missing that technology from Flux when I was using this binding. It felt very supportive, very good. So the ankle strap I love. The toe straps of these I used to really not like, and none of our crew really did. This would just keep stretching, and it got to the point where you felt like you cranked it all the way down and you just still didn't feel like you had a good hold. It would come loose. It's still not my favorite toe strap, but now this harder plastic seems to stop at a certain point, so it still cranks further than other bindings that I have, other toe straps that I've used, and I've used a lot, but now it's just not as bad as it used to be, and it works pretty well. Maybe it's that, you know, I'm riding Burton boots now instead of Adidas, but who knows? Whatever it is, I like it now. The ratchets, super smooth. Just all these ratchets I just felt were great. I had no problem getting them on and off. They never bothered me. They felt really smooth out of the box, and I got these brand new. Now, when it comes to adjustability, you have all your just standard adjustability. You've got toolless adjustability here, toolless, forward lean. You've got good high back rotation, all that kind of stuff. But what I really like is this. You can really slide this heel loop in and out to fit your boot. You can slide the toe ramp in and out, so you can get your boot centered in this binding and therefore centered on your board. You see that in all our reviews. That's a big thing for us, because if you can get your boot centered in your binding, then you can turn these discs, instead of this way, heel to toe, you can turn them tip to tail and get some stance width adjustability. Stance width adjustability is great with these as a mini disc. Look at how much more adjustability you have versus a standard mini disc like from Union. I think this is just an exceptional disc. I love it. On top of that, you can actually mount this like a full-size disc. You don't have any slide, but at least you can do it, which is more than you can with this little guy. So if you have, let's say, setback inserts, this will work. You can't slide it anywhere, but at least it works. So that's really cool. So overall, I think these are great bindings. They tick a lot of boxes. You know, I think Rome kind of made me feel like these aren't the bindings for me, just because of the tech they have with the Vice at kind of a similar price point. I really like this adjustable ankle strap a little more than this fixed ankle strap, and to a lesser extent the ASIM wrap versus a full wrap. just appealed to me a little bit more. So if you don't want to screw around with response adjustability, then the DOD is perfect for you. But if you're somebody like me that has a diverse quiver, you might like the vise a little better. All our reviews are a best effort, objective opinion from an average rider's perspective. There's no brand oversight, and we're free to say whatever we want. We send back everything unless it's a favorite, then we ask to keep those or straight up buy them. Now, if you need advice, fill out the eHarmony profile in the Contact Us section of the site. It's the only way I can help you properly. If you want to support us, and if what we reviewed appeals to you, it helps if you buy through our links. So, thanks for watching.